gang, I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm in the shop. Yep, I'm in the shop. I want to show you something. You got any scrap wood? You're going to love it. Watch. I'm back out in the shop after a little medical holiday. Yeah, let's call it that, medical holiday. Since the last 2 years, if they didn't find something wrong over here, they found something wrong over there, or in here or up there, wherever. But hey, I'm still above the flowers, and I'm going to turn some wood. I'm in here cleaning up a little bit. I've been a little bit busy with business. My business, I sell carbide cutters, templates, bars, and all that other stuff. EddieCastellan.com. Yeah, that's where I sell them at. And at one time, we sold more cutters than anybody else in the world because we had the best prices. Our prices haven't changed, and we're still here. We're still in business. But if you're out in the shop and you're fooling around and you find this kind of stuff laying around, that's a piece of black palm. That's really cool. I paid $26 for a 3-foot piece of this. 2x2 by 36. 26 bucks. That must have been when I was rich. Then I found a nice little sweet piece of Cocobolo. I got another one here that's looks like it's figured on wood. Not too sure, but boy, is it heavy. And then I found, this one over here. This is colored plywood I got from Ruth Niles. I want to make bottle stoppers. Yeah, it's the time of year. This is August, right? So you're getting into the shop again. It's hot as hell out there. But you're getting into the shop again, and you want to turn something fun and simple just to keep your skills going. This is excellent. This little block of wood and a little bit of trouble, and you've got yourself a bottle stopper. Now, when I make them, I can make them with a wood, cork, plastic, or I like this. This is stainless steel from Ruth Niles. 5 rubbers so it'll fit in there. I got to do one for an olive oil butter bottle in the kitchen because they have me on a controlled diet thing, you know? Diet, 4-letter word for misery. But I want to do these stoppers. Now, what am I going to do them with? Now, here's the deal. I'm cleaning up because I've got a box, a little red box like this, that says on the face of it, bottle stoppers. Right? Okay, that makes sense. Where in the hell is it? Where is it? I've been all over this place. I got the boss coming out to help me look behind the table saw because maybe it fell back there. I didn't look back there in 7-8 years. I got stuff, boy. I got some damage from termites. It's unbelievable. But we're going to keep going. Now let me get back to this. Bottle stoppers. I'm going to shape these things and get a stopper made out of them. But how am I going to do that? You know I cheat, don't you? Okay, I'm going to show you this rig. This is my one-way stronghold chuck with my profile jaws in it. And in that one-way stronghold chuck with jaws, because you can use your own chuck or a drill chuck or whatever you want, it just got to hold a 5/16 bolt. That's a 5/16 bolt right there. That's right. Now, I said 5/16. That's a misnomer. And I misled you there. Let me back up. This is a 5/16 bolt on the tip of that, and most of them are that way. So I want to be a scrunch, that's a technical term, a scrunch under 5/16. So when I put this in, it threads on, just like this one is here. This is threaded on. And how to thread it on? I just put the lathe on low, push that block up there, and shove it right in there. Threads itself in. No tap and thread stuff. This is wood. Okay, now I have it in there. First thing I'm going to do is establish that back to be straight. Well, I'm going to make it round first. So, stick with me. Let's make it round. Getting out to start with, I brought my tailstock up. I just barely touching it. I'm going to shield up, okay? Might affect the sound, but you know. I'm going to round this out, but I am not... Okay, I sell a lot of carbide cutters. But I'm an old wood turner. Let's not get into the old crap. I'm an old wood turner, and I learned how to sharpen conventional tools. And what I've sharpened, I kind of like. So I'm going to do this with conventional tools. How's that, okay? But everything I'm doing here, you can do with carbide. And if you need carbide because of sharpening problems, I'm okay with that. Sharp tools cut. You know how to use sharp tools, you will cut better. And slicing is the key to this. All right, enough of that. All right, I'm begging on a hot dog here. I'm going to crank it up. My speed, probably around 1500. Actually, it's 1442.5. Sometimes that matters. All right, got a rough and gouge. This is my from D-Way Tools. See that? There's one right there. D-Way Tools. I'm going to butt this left-handed. Why? I feel sort of like a monkey with a football. I'm coming across a nice slicing guts. Now I'm round. I got round. See? I don't touch it with my finger to check that. I had a splitter for a year. All right, I'm round. I want to clean up this edge. For shading and decorating, I like this 3/8 inch double step. Let me see it gets right. See that little double step? Back it up a little bit. That is an Ellsworth gouge, or an Ellsworth type gouge, a deep U. And I ground it to the Ellsworth grind, the 247 grind. If you need details, that's on my website. And then I back ground it right here to relieve that shoulder. Why? I don't need that steel. I won't use that steel. That steel is used way down here to support it. So I relieved it so when I go around a corner, that's a technical term, I can clean it up a little bit easier. Less stress on the wood. Now, I'm going to switch over to another spot, right? Okay. Sidetrack here. For you guys wondering how I do this, this is being done on an iPad. Why? Because I can see the screen. To hold it, I've got this rig. This is a magnetic base by Ram, and it's onto a GoPro gooseneck because it'll move anywhere I want it to. And then I modified the top to screw a 1/4-20 mount. That's what I have in there. And that can let me put this iPod just about anywhere. Got the camera moved. Now, with it being like this, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing, not the cutting. So I'll move it again and redo the cutting. So it'd be a little steppy here for you to try to watch. But I've got it nice and round. I don't have any tears on this. And the stuff seems to tear a pretty good bit. I don't have any tears on it, but I'm ready to go ahead and put some shape on it. I'm figuring it's long enough to make a nice stopper. I have to allow for this. See this point right there for the dead center, for the live center? You see it live. I have to allow for that, so I won't put that in my detail. I'll come up a little bit short and clean it up. I leave it between centers. Now, that's so I have more stability. Otherwise, when I touch this with the gouge and it's not stable, it's going across the room. And that's the sound effect. By the way, I've got my tool rest set just about center, and I'm about a 1/4 inch away from the piece. It gives me more control when I'm turning. Speed still about 1500 RPMs. It's going to rev up there. I'm going to do a slicing cut down the side using the side of my gouge with the bevel intact to make that cut. Now, the bottom has got to be about the same size as that stopper. I don't want to be smaller. So I'm going to take this down a little bit. I roll the gouge over it, and I'm rolling on the edge. You can see the cut I'm getting. I'm riding the bevel. And I can ride this bevel on a carbide scraper too. No deal. No problem. Now I'm going to go put a little detail in it. No, I'm coming from the top and going down. I do not want to go uphill. Now I'm going to do something that's not done a lot. Put the brakes on. Here's the brakes on. Do you see that? You can see that. There's no tear outs. There's no gouging. There's no runs. This is not a mastery of wood turning. It's a mastery of the tool and how the tool cuts. That's critical. You cut with the blade, never against it. Don't go uphill. Back to it. See that cut? I turned that bevel on and off by twisting my wrist. Didn't raise my arm, didn't change my tool rest, nothing else. I just twisted my wrist. That's the on and off. That's way on, that's way off. I will start there, get a bead, and then roll it slightly. I don't want to be like this. Just like taking a plow to it. Now, I kind of have this shaped up. I'll tell you, I cheat a little bit. Well, you know that. I'm not going to do any actual cutting on this part. So I have to put my shield on. When I was making that cut with my gouge, wide open, on top, I'm coming in flat, always vertical. And I'm going to pick me a spot right here, and then I'm going to twist my wrist a little bit. It's automatic for me. As soon as it comes off that, I twist my wrist a little bit, and it gives me a ride down that shoulder. That's what I'm looking for. Shield's up, always. See how fine a cut you can get? Makes a difference when we go back later. I got a little bump to scrape out right there. Let me show you what I would do then. Now this again is my scraper. We'll crank it up again. Because I'm downhill, downhill, uphill, uphill. I don't want to go uphill. Note that when I made those scraping cuts, I was not flat on my tool rest. Now that's a perfectly good thing, and you see a lot of turners do it. Perfectly good. But I want to show you something. When I get to this point, I want to put a little decoration I can leave. I got up my decoration master. It's a piece of steel, tool steel, and I sharpen it like a pencil sharpener on a grinder. See? That's all. No magic. I didn't have to point up everything and get aggressive. I'm going to sort of burn lines in. I'm not going to burn these in, mainly because I can't find my piece of wire. But that's how I'd start. As you can see, I got the base. I'm not going to sand on this. Sand is like watching grass grow. Got this, two lines here. I want to put a cap on it. Shield's up. I'm still on the tailstock now. Vertical. Still on the tailstock, and we take some of this top off. Watch this go. Nice easy slices. All of the tailstock still in place. Now let's get rid of that. You may not have seen the last series of cuts as clear as I wanted you to. I went in with the tool vertical right here, flutes vertical. I went in, got a bite. I'm going to get rid of that line. What was that noise? Noise is chatter because I'm moving. I should have moved this back into the chuck. Let me show you how that would help. I loosen my chuck and push the bolt back into the chuck where this is bearing on those jaws. That's going to take a lot of shakeout. Oh, by the way, I told you I couldn't find my other one. This is the mandrel that I should be using. It's got that 5/16, it's got the right size shoulder on it. It's got a drawbar that goes through my headstock to take out any vibration. And this was in all unlikely places on a counter, right next to where I thought it should be. Okay, now we've adjusted that. Bring us in, shields down, crank up the speed a little bit. Now we're going to fix the top. Light cuts. All shearing cuts. All slices. Easy. I am not a fan of sawing anything off. When I get done, I want it to be done right there. You can see we have that simple, this is a simple little project. A little block of wood, and I turned it down, put a little ground on it. Now, I didn't saw anything off. This is wood turning, not wood sawing. I see people doing demonstrations and exhibits and all that, and they saw a piece off when they want to get off. I couldn't probably couldn't find my saw right now because I don't use that. This one on, twisting it on. Let me flip it reverse. Reverse. Turn the speed down, grab it. There we go. Maybe I should say you shouldn't do that, but it's easier in the wrist of my hand. Okay, that's the piece I turned. Now I would sand it out. I would coat it with OB shine juice. Oh no, let me back up. Hold on, put the brakes on. Oh hey, I forgot to tell you one thing. When you get it all said and done, you're going to put it on top of Chuck. You see that Chuck's got those threads? Just put a little dab of wax on them, and you can hand thread them right on there. Yeah, and then that's your completed bottle stopper. I get my stoppers, the mandrels, and all that stuff from Ruth Niles. She's a nice lady. I spend all spot sitting with her. I don't think either one of us is going to make it this year. I can't be away from treatment that long. Or my dear wife. But I get the sanding supplies from Vince Welch at Vince's Wood Wonders. You see, Worldwide Woodturners were non-promotional and non-obligated to anything that's a commercial. We just took it off the lathe, and I'm going to do some other stuff to it. I made a mistake. I really did. I shouldn't have taken this off the lathe. I should have left it on a mandrel, went through and sanded it from 80 to maybe 320. Be careful not to burn off the corners. You want good sharp corners. They're an eye catcher. That's where the light changes, so you will catch your eye. If it's round, it just blends. All right, so I did that and I sanded it. Then what do I do? Got 3 options for you. It's probably a dozen. I'm going to give you 3. Number 1, sand it lightly. You did that. Then seal it with 2 coats of Deft lacquer sanding sealer. You get that at Ace Hardware at PVG. And then you sealed it. You buff it off with a Scotch-Brite pad, okay? So now you have a piece that's sealed in Scotch-Brite pad. It's going to look pretty good. Let's fix that, because pretty good is not good enough. Then I'm going to take out my OB Shine Juice. Formula's on my website. And I'm going to put a good burned-in coat of OB Shine Juice. No torch. The friction of your hand burns it in. Then you've got a stacked layer. That'll fill in all these little bitty voids that are in this piece. I know the character, but it looks better glinting. And then I take it off and spray it with the cheap Ace Hardware lacquer. I'm cheap. Light coats from far away. That way you've got a bulletproof stopper. Now, that's not the only way. Have that stopper, I've sanded it out, maybe I've sealed it, but I got to go along with some guys that believe you don't have to. I learned on Worldwide Woodturners, I can take this thing, sand it out, and then take Parfix, P-A-R-A-F-I-X, Parfix CA glue, 3408. Google that. It's a medical drug, or a glue. Right? Then I'm going to put a Parafix over the top of it going to go out and get a sandwich. Yeah, because that's going to cure in a few minutes. One coat. It's going to cure in a few minutes. Hit it with a little bit of the 3408 accelerator, and that is a finished piece. Oh no, you can Scotch Brite it, then buff it with a carnauba wax, and go crazy on the finish. You've accomplished a lot. Now let's go back to the piece when it's on a lathe. I have sanded it out. I put some sealer on it. I Scotch Brite it, that sealer down, and now I want to put a bulletproof finish on it. I go to this. This is Star Bond Thin CA. Star Bond. Yeah. I like it because it's a pretty good product. I would take that thing, spin it with the sealer on it, all buffed out, and take my rubber glove. Always, even on the Perfects, the rubber glove's critical. Right? Rubber glove and a piece of paper towel. Never rag. Piece of paper towel and put one light coat on. It's going to go like that and be done. Why? This end is dry before you got to that end. Or cure it. That fast. Stand back, count to 30 if you can. Go back, put another coat on. Count to 30 again because you practiced just now. Go back up and put another coat on. Now you have 3 coats of CA on that piece. It's going to look pretty good. Scotch Brite it. If it looks really good, stop and polish it. I polish it with, oh goodness, I think I moved it. A polishing compound made by McGuire's. I get it off at auto store down the hall, down the way. But I'll polish that. So now I've got to finish that spray lacquer. I've got to finish that 3408, and I got to finish that Star Bond. Now, if you want to play with polyurethanes, varnishes, or anything else, go ahead, play with them. You're finishing wood. Get it done right before you finish it. Get it all sanded out, seal it up. I like the sealer part because that shows a lot. After you've done the sealer, you actually see the piece and you can see any ripples you might have. And what do? You can scrape them out and fix them. I like scraping them out rather than sanding them out. You don't lose the corners with the scraper. All right, and you've seen a piece. So you have a piece that's ready to go. You screw that stopper in the bottom of it, it's a gift. You can give it away. My deal is this, and it's with Worldwide Wood Turners right now. Turn a bottle stopper, send us a photograph for our newsletter website and our promotions because we want to see what you do. It's an idea starter. And then give it away. You do know you mooch your meal on Thanksgiving. You go someplace over Thanksgiving and mooch your meal. Or they come to your house and mooch your meal. All right? Give them a stopper. They'll love it. If you got to make it out of cork, it's okay. Out of plastic, it's all okay. All of 3/8 inch core. But get it made and give it away. This is a beautiful piece. I get my stoppers from Ruth Niles. Ruthniles. And my sanding stuff comes from Vince Welch. Why? Because Vinny knows sanding. Other people sell it. He knows it. But that's what I'm using. So you've seen it. The mandrel, the stopper, the finishes, everything else. If nothing else, get out into your shop today and start making shavings. That's right. Making shavings. It's important. In fact, it's almost critical. See, oh, wait. Don't forget, I sell carbide cutters. The boss only let me come play out here if I sell carbide cutters. So I do that. So keep that in mind. Selling carbide cutters. Otherwise, see you on Worldwide Wood Turners, 6 o'clock Central Time. You need access, go to our website, worldwidewoodturners.org. There's a clock that tells you how long it is before the next program. There's a button you click to get into the program, and there's a button you click to join. And everybody in the world is invited. And it's free. And it is probably the best wood turning program out there. I know we got the best wood turning worldwide. And the website, hey, hands down. All right. Hey, I'm Captain Eddie. I'm back out in the shop. Oh, I'm glad y'all visited. If it wasn't for COVID, I'd be going to mooch and meal someplace.